Welcome to this short introduction to mental toughness. My aim in this short video is to answer 7 questions. What exactly is mental toughness? What's beneath the surface of mental toughness? Who needs mental toughness? Is resilience the same thing as mental toughness? Can we measure mental toughness? Maybe most interestingly, can we develop mental toughness? And finally, can we have too much mental toughness? So, what exactly is mental toughness? Psychologists define mental toughness as a personality characteristic that helps us perform better through dealing with our pressure and our stress. It's an attitude, and it's part of the 80% of our personality that is invisible. It's below the surface of the iceberg. It's below the surface with things like our attitudes, our beliefs, our fears, our pulsions. It can be seen through our words, our actions, what we say, what we do, through our behaviours. It can be seen through 20% of our personality that is above the surface of the iceberg. In fact, the 80% explains why we do, what we do, or maybe what we don't do, depending on our level of mental toughness. So what's beneath the surface of mental toughness? Mental toughness is made up from 4 constructs: control, commitment, challenge, and confidence. The 4 C's. Control is about life control and our emotional control, and these contribute to our can-do attitude. Commitment is made up from 2 orientations: a goals orientation and an achievement orientation, and these contribute to our stickability. Challenge is also made up from 2 orientations: a risk orientation and a learning orientation, and these contribute to our have a go attitude. Confidence is made up from our interpersonal confidence and our confidence in our abilities, and these combined give us our self-belief. It is this that makes mental toughness: the attitude that gives us the confidence to take up a challenge and for control of ourselves to achieve our commitments. So, who needs mental toughness? Elite athletes, they need mental toughness. The military, preparing for action, going into action, they need mental toughness. Our emergency services, our first responders, the fire services, the ambulance services, they need mental toughness. People running difficult meetings, running difficult projects, they need mental toughness. Teachers, maybe working with difficult classes, they need mental toughness. People running difficult interviews or being involved in difficult interviews, they need mental toughness. Doctors and nurses facing up to dying patients, they need mental toughness. In fact, more people than we like to imagine need mental toughness. You need mental toughness. I need mental toughness. We all need mental toughness to face up to our daily storms. I can hear you asking, is resilience the same as mental toughness? Yes and no. Psychologists define resilience as the ability to cope mentally, physically and emotionally with a crisis, and be able to return relatively quickly to pre-crisis status and to move on from the incident without long-term negative consequences, which sounds similar to mental toughness. However, mental toughness has a proactive element to it. Those with high mental toughness will proactively look for challenges. That is why mental toughness is often associated with elite athletes or entrepreneurs, those who go out of their way to put themselves in challenging situations. Those who are mentally tough are resilient. However, those who are resilient are not necessarily mentally tough. Resilience is about finding meaning in adversity, whereas it is adversity which gives meaning to those with mental toughness. Can we measure mental toughness? Yes, two methods. The first more subjectively, the second maybe more objectively, more scientifically. Subjectively, we could ask ourselves some questions and try to answer them as honestly as possible. We could ask ourselves questions such as, am I in control of my life decisions? Do I generally stay calm in difficult situations? Am I determined, focused on getting things done? Do I regularly get out of my comfort zone? Am I a self-confident person? And if we answer these honestly, we will get an idea of whether we are highish or lowish in terms of our mental toughness. Alternatively, we could use a more objective or more scientific approach and use the MTQ+, the Mental Toughness Questionnaire, which is today the benchmark mental toughness questionnaire. Answering this questionnaire not only gives us an overall mental toughness score, it also gives us scores for the 8 elements that make up mental toughness. It scores us on a scale from 1 to 10, from being very low in overall mental toughness or in one of the elements, being low, being average, being high, or being very high. And it can identify in our scores our Achilles tendon. We're all as strong as our weakest link. So, having answered the question, can we measure mental toughness? Maybe the more interesting question is, can we develop mental toughness? Clearly the answer is yes. Mental toughness is an attitude. Attitudes can change, they can grow, they can develop. And there are some simple and pragmatic tools, methods to help develop each of the 4 C's in the mental toughness model. In terms of control, we can work on our locus of control, our emotional highway. In terms of commitment, we can work on our objective setting and our priorities. In terms of our challenge, we can work on our comfort zone, our learning styles. And in terms of our confidence, we can work on visualization and assertiveness. All of these will contribute to increasing our mental toughness. Mental toughness doesn't develop in leaps and bounds. However, an aggregation of small changes leads to a sustainable increase in mental toughness. Can we have too much mental toughness? Can we have too much of a good thing? Because mental toughness is a good thing to have. In principle, no. Practice, yes. It's more a question of awareness, perception, or maybe interpretation of our behaviours. Some people have mental toughness, but it's maybe seen as mental roughness. They're disciplined and calm, but maybe they're seen as dogmatic and cold. They're determined and focused, but maybe they're seen as stubborn and blinkered. They're intrepid, reflective, but maybe they're seen as reckless, ruminative. They're assertive, they're knowledgeable, but maybe they're seen as being aggressive, opinionated. Where are you seen on the spectrum? Are you seen as the good Dr. Jekyll, or are you seen as the evil Mr. Hyde? Are you seen as the young and noble Anakin Skywalker, or are you seen as Darth Vader, the incarnation of the Sith? Thank you for watching and listening to this introduction to mental toughness.